I went to go see El Tri. I don't know, it's rock en español. It's un grupo de rock en español. And also it was one of my older brother's favorite bands growing up. Like one of his very favorite, the one that lives in Mexico. And so I Facebook messaged my nephew, his son, and I was just like, you know, like, I went to go see El Tri last night, like, tell your dad, like, you know, it was a really good time and I wish we could have gone together. And then he was just like, my dad said, yeah, that was one of his favorite bands and that he can't wait for all of us to be together soon. And I've been telling my nephew and my niece that I'm gonna see them soon, since they were probably, before they were in the double digits, probably since they were about like 7 years old. So it's crazy that for once soon actually means soon. Turned out soon was about 10 years later. But I don't know, it's just crazy that in over 10 years, my mom's gonna have all her kids with her in one room. And that's amazing to me. When my mom barely got her residency, I was 16 or 17, so she must have been 51, 52. And she hadn't seen my sister in 16 years. She hadn't seen my sister in 16 years the first time she went to Mexico. The first time she was able to go again. And, you know, she was like, that after the first time she went, she said it felt surreal. That it almost felt like it didn't happen. Because she went for a while. And, you know, it's crazy because right after that, I was talking to my nephew and I was like, yeah, I can't wait. And he told me, he's like, sí, igual que en los viejos tiempos. There's still a possibility that my dad can't have his documentation sorted out without him leaving the country because of this thing called the 10-year ban. And basically what that is if you've entered the US illegally more than twice, you're automatically banned from the United States for 10 years, which means you have to exit the country for 10 years. And that's just really crappy because it's why a lot of undocumented youth sometimes don't apply for DACA. Like, even if it's their parents that brought them over, or even if they lived here for a while, went back and then came back, you know, the 10-year ban, it's a problem. And it's like, in the case of my father, even though my mom never pressed any charges, even though, like, you know, we're past that, and even regardless about that, just the fact that he had to come back for his kids, he didn't have a choice. But that doesn't matter. Like, even if him and my mom got married, even if I tried to do it, there's a very strong possibility that he'd be deported anyway. And it's unfortunate that it works that way because my dad has done everything this country wants immigrants to do. He works here, he pays taxes. My dad has diabetes and he's paid taxes since the 80s and he has no health care. He doesn't even have access to be able to measure his blood sugar or his blood pressure, even though he's been paying taxes for like 3 decades. It's just crazy, the entire experience and the dynamics of immigration, spaces of illegality, how some people, like, even within like being undocumented, there's different levels to it. For example, for me, once my brother became a citizen, it opened up. I knew there would be a path for me. Like, even if it wasn't soon, like, unless I really fucked up, if I got caught up, if I committed a federal crime, you know, as long as I kind of stayed in my lane and I really played it safe, like, there was a chance that up to 10, 15 years from now, like, I could have some sort of residency. And for some people that doesn't exist at all. I think I'm going to use this newfound status of residency and hopefully one day citizenship to do things that I felt I held myself back from or I couldn't do because I was in that space of illegality, and just put in 200% of the work without the fear towards, like, you know, like, I can't just walk away from it. Like, I can't, because not knowing that my dad is still there, like, you know, like Dapa didn't pass, and if Dapa had passed like that, the situation would be different, but it's not. And like, there's youth here that like this government cares about because, you know, quieren hacer dinero. But you know that picture where it's the dad holding the American flag and has a kid on his shoulders, and it says, "Our parents are the original dreamers." Every time I see it, it makes me tear up. And then there's that other one where it's the guy and he has a cartulina that says, "Gracias a los jóvenes por gritar lo que los padres callamos por miedo." And that translates to, "Thank you, young people, for screaming what your parents keep quiet about out of fear." And I don't know. I try to keep that in mind with everything that's been changing, with the opportunities I have, the privilege of going to school, now the privilege of being able to study abroad, the privilege of not having to worry about being stopped and deported for no reason, and, you know, just working towards fixing this problem. And I'm gonna call it a problem because it's a problem. This is a problem. These are problems. I'm talking about problems. You know what I mean? They're hardships, they're difficulties. They make people's lives fucking suck. Yeah.